welcome back to The Rising of the Shield Hero Anime Review, Episode 25. We're here reviewing Episode 45 of the series The Girl and the Dragon. This episode down from the first 6 chapters of Book 12 of the series. There is a bit of cuts here and there. Biggest change I saw from the book to the anime is the fact that Fumi is less of a jerk in the anime, because he was a big jerk in the book. So the episode starts out with basically noting that, it's basically 2 months before the Phoenix reactivates. Okay, so we see life in that Fumi's village, where mostly we see people training, like Risha basically is there. She doesn't speak in the episode, but she's there. She's there training, and of course you also see Ren with Ekanor, which from I read online, apparently that Ren is attracted to her later on. Yep. And they have a few interactions in the episode. They're dueling, and of course, at one point he seems to research, and where Esker is really close to him. And apparently, also he can't touch certain things because of the curse series that he's under. Yep. So, and of course, also Cinch herself basically in the episode where she still has the problem where she has a bit of staticky in her voice. Later on, she helps a familiar to let her speak properly, which. Yes, this is something happened in the book, so there's that. Oh yeah, and we also have preparing breakfast. Ren's basically asked to serve it, and then of course basically not long after that, where Nafumi's in his office, and then all of a sudden Philo was running outside, asking for Nafumi, and is the Spear Hero back? No, he's not even in the episode. He's not even mentioned. In the book, he's mentioned. Here, he's not mentioned at all. As for where the Spear Hero is, don't really know. He's not dead. He's just simply not here. Well, we're introduced to two new characters in just this one scene alone. First is a woman who calls herself Rat. She is a scientist, exiled from a foreign country, because some idiots like her experimentation. She want to create monsters to control them. And so, of course, people don't understand her experiments. They call her devil and they destroy her lab. And, of course, she wants to experiment on Philo. And she brings out a needle. Yes, a needle. And, of course, Philo runs away and yells for, Melty-chan, I need your help. Yes. And by the way, that line when she's yelling for Melty, that is from the book. So, good on the anime for keeping that in. I wonder how Brittany Knickerbocker reacts to that line. Because she's the voice of Philo. I even asked her once that when she first saw Philo, she thought she was cute. She did. She thought she was absolutely so cute. So, throughout the episode, we see a few different things happen. Also, the whole thing, remember Philo's, that particular mention of the conversation, that's from later on in the chapter. They moved it up here just to speed stuff along. Which I'm glad they keep dialogue in from the book. It's just that they wanted to move stuff up early, so we're not having another conversation later on, why she's there. She's experimenting people like Philo. And then we see this tent where it's got these 3 giant caterpillars, which laid eggs. Now, this is one of a couple scenes where they really trimmed down. And I do agree with this particular thing. Now, in the episode, this is one of a couple times basically where Nafumi is being a jerk. Yep, our hero of the series is being a jerk to in the anime presents him as a much more decent person. It's he's upset about these eggs. Of course, also Alta's here as well, where she's punishing them, which this was excised from the anime. She's here in this scene. And she's easily beating up her own brother, which is kind of hilarious. And there's a funny bit later on in the episode, which I'll get to it, because it is a bit of a meme for some reason now. So, and then of course we see this box has got this dragon egg. Now, in the book, basically, they ask what other eggs, this is what their box, that's where this egg comes from. It's a dragon egg. And Fumi spends most of the episode having a thing carried on his back to keep warm. And he visits the weapon shop, which this does happen in the book too. And there's a little bit more here. They do cut, which I don't have a problem with that. They probably cut some stuff from this episode due to time. and probably because they want to move along the plot this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to look at this brand new shiny sword known as Starlight, this new katana, which apparently made by his master, which by the way he's in the book too. Rat looks at it, and of course they go back, and then eventually when they get back, they have a little sleep, and if he wakes up, of course the egg's next to him, and also on the other side of the bed is Alta. You're thinking, why is this young girl in Nafumi's bed? This is a bit out of the anime because it's not really there in the book, because this is made completely for the anime, because apparently she took the time at night to tie up her own brother just so she can hop bed with Nafumi, because she considers herself to be his shield. All but be near him, and of course I tell her, you gotta stop doing this. And by the way, according to her, this is the third time she's done this. Yes, seriously, she's hopped in Nafumi's bed 3 times. You're probably thinking, is he doing something adult with her? No. No, he isn't. He has no interest in it at all. And I'm glad the fact Nafumi is not written to be someone who likes little girls, because that would be kind of stupid. I mean, he's the main character. He should like girls his own age. Sheila is also in the episode too, the one who's an old friend of Raphtalia. Yeah, she's in the episode. She doesn't do very much at all. At least unlike the last episode, she actually has lines. Yeah. Which I don't blame the anime. Actually, a couple episodes back, I don't blame the anime for basically saying, "Oh, we have her here," and they just now. If you're really curious, a couple episodes back where she appeared for a brief cameo and then having lines, and did the anime count any lines for her from the book? No, not really. She had 0 lines. She was mentioned she was in the scene, and there she is. And of course, also, then later on, during the course of the episode, the dragon egg hatches. Also, we see this special tree grown by Rat herself. Yeah. So, yeah, and then of course, basically, it's like a little tent there, and of course, this tree. Then eventually, the egg hatches. Of course, the other character introduced in this episode is Wendolyn. In the book, basically, now who refers to as Valley Girl. This is completely removed from the anime, probably because basically in the book it was presented as offensive, and for her it's like, that's not my name. Don't call me Valley Girl. Call me by my actual name. And then of course the dragon hatches. It's a Lenter, I think it's called. They actually do present as they're loyal dragons. There's actually a bit more here. They cut a couple lines they cut from the scene. And then, of course, you have her naming the dragon Gillion. This is another change, basically, here, where Nafumi is being a jerk and saying, who should you name that dragon? Here, he's like, okay, you want to name that? That's perfectly fine. And, of course, basically raise the dragon. And then we see, apparently, this dragon is obsessed with Nafumi, just hanging around him. And then, eventually, where apparently there's been knocking. Of course, Melty's in the episode, and of course, basically there's a bit of dialogue change here. Nafumi calling her second princess, and she also some don't call me second princess, and also don't call me an idiot, which they cut out from the anime. It's basically in this book, it's Nafumi is just mean to people for no reason at all, and the way the anime presents it, it's that's not even there at all. He's been upset at times, but he's not necessarily being mean. Which, you read the book and you're wondering, why the heck is the main character being mean to his own villagers? You get the fact he's run the village. And by the way, Rat keeps calling him Count in the anime, because Nafumi is an actual Count. Which, in the book, she did do this too. She never dressed him by name, only dressed him by his tail. Not Shield Hero, not even Nafumi, Count, because that's his title. Yep, and then of course, basically, there's been knocking the door, and of course, we trap this whatever's inside. What's in the prison? It's basically Gillion, the dragon. And then they bring up to his bedroom. He's wondering why is he, and of course she was like, why is he here? And then he opens up a bag, which this is from the beginning portion of chapter 6, by the way, and takes out basically an Emperor Dragon Core. Oh, but before I continue here, there's a brief anime original moment here where Nahu takes a piece of the dragon and he puts inside of his shield, though there's a bit of a crackle in it. Now, if you're really curious, was this from the book? No, this is completely anime original because he never did this in the book at all. They made this up for the anime because my guess is because he does this a lot, so why not? He does this where he basically picks up various objects, puts inside of his shield to create a new shield series. Because he likes to make his shield stronger, which, fine. And typically put basically, what I could tell from this, the reason why the anime presents this way is because basically normal RPGs do this, so why not? So then the dragon eats the dragon core, becomes a little bigger, and busts a hole in Nahumi's bedroom, and of course he flies off, and that's the end of the episode. I gotta admit, this actually was a really good episode. Do I think that they faithfully adapted these chapters? I think so. Mostly put in just some lines cut here and there. But if anybody read the chapters that were adapted for this episode, which I'm just mentioning once again, it's the first 6 chapters of book 12 of 15. It is the biggest change we get from these chapters is how Nafumi is portrayed in the episode. Because, like I mentioned, the book, he's a jerk. In the anime, much more decent person. Oh, by the way, Rat herself basically was invited there by the queen. Which, yes, this happened in book 2. So, I think the anime did a good job here. And that's how I feel about it. If anybody else feels like maybe they cut too much, not really. If you read the book itself, basically, like, they kept a lot of the important stuff in. I mean, there's nothing major cut here. I mean, nothing earth-shattering per se. I think what they for this episode, they did a pretty good job with it. Mm-hmm. Now, there is roughly 9 more chapters left to go, so I'm presuming, because the fact that book 11 took about a few episodes. Now, this is only, like, episode 45 of the series. And overall, for the actually in itself, it is the 7th episode. Yep, episode 7. So there is exactly about 5 more left. Yep, there's actually just one. Because I'm thinking by the end of next month, most of the anime currently working on will be pretty much wrapping up at that point. Like, if you think about it, the only one not be wrapping up at that point is probably Jujutsu Kaisen. It's probably the only one not wrapping up, but I think presumably by next month, basically, we're going to be done with this. I'd say probably by the end of next month. Yeah, I think so, because I'm looking at the calendar right now that episode 46 will air this coming Friday, even though I'll watch it on Sunday, and my guess is, like I mentioned, basically by the end of next month, this will be done. Basically, by the start of January, the only anime left to go would just be One Piece, Case Closed, Jujutsu Kaisen. That'll be kind of wrapping up in January, but that'll still be there, and the 100 Girlfriends anime. These 4 will still be left. Everything else will be done. You're probably thinking, okay, what about the other ones? They wrap up by next month, definitely. Yep. So yes, that's it for Tickle Review, and that's it for videos today. And with this also, I'm caught up with all my anime. Excuse me, I do have one anime to do tomorrow, so what to expect for tomorrow? Well, reviews for Dead Boys of Part-Time, because I'm ready to start the next set of episodes for that one. The 100 Girls anime, and maybe a few comic corners. Maybe. Okay? Next video tomorrow.